problems. Throughout our community's history,
some have changed,
I was in a really bad spot when I came here.
some have not.
If it hadn't been for the grace, I might have probably killed myself.
Some seem impossible to solve.
Imagine knowing there's something wrong with your child, but don't know what to do to help them.
in neighborhoods, in schools, and behind closed doors.
No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds.
We go looking for them.
We unite around our community's biggest and most critical problems, and we fight.
United Way of Cascade County fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in our community.
We find hands willing to work,
Minds ready to find solutions,
Leaders who are willing to work tirelessly to move our community forward.
we find every dollar we can.
But we are more than fundraisers.
we are difference makers, groundbreakers, mountain movers.
We are believers and achievers.
Shakers and shapers.
As a kid, I hated school. I hated it. I went to school about 2 or 3 days out of the week. My family's kind of dysfunctional. Ever since I turned like 13, 14, I've pretty much just been my own person.
Just looking at his records when he came in, you know, he was entering as a sophomore with a half a credit. And I thought, you know, I don't know how we're gonna do it with this kid.
That's all I really cared about at that time was just getting high. I just didn't care about myself. I didn't care about what I did. But then with Euchre and Jordan, I guess they turned my entire life around.
If I had to describe immersion, I would say it's encompassing cultural content to meet the Montana standards of graduation. So, you know, in English, we're reading Native authors, and in US and Montana history, we're talking about not what it looked like for the colonies, we're talking about what it looked like for tribes. And it's just allowing the students to engage in information and content that reflects them. He went from just this wallflower to a person that would come into the room, happy to be there. He said good morning every morning. He started helping out, and then he really got involved with a lot of our community projects, which was really fun to see because he's such a great worker.
It's kind of hard because it seems like I have to live up to more because since I'm Native, like people expect less from me. So I go above and beyond to try to show people that I'm capable of doing anything that I put my mind to. Yeah, without finishing school, I wouldn't have had no future because I need my high school diploma for pretty much everything I need to do. I'm starting a job with the schools as custodian, and then next year I'm leaving for the Marines.
He's thriving, he's passionate, he is a positive role model in our community. He got a little taste of what it means to be a healthy person, and he's just taking that and he's running with it.
So Ethan was diagnosed high functioning, low sensory. Ethan wasn't talking until almost 4. When a parent doesn't have the proper tools to, get their kid the help they need, start to think, well, what am I doing wrong? What am I failing at? Unfortunately, that led to some very bad decisions on my behalf because mentally I couldn't deal with everything I had going on, and substance abuse issues, things like that. I mean, there was days he'd make it this daycare a week, they'd kick him out from a meltdown. Then this one, there was one daycare, like literally 2 hours after I dropped him off, they said, we're done. You need to come and get him. And that's when I had made the initial contact with Peace Place, and it was a safe place for him. You had educated people that, that understood what was going on, that knew the situation, that watched him learn coping mechanisms. Everything is almost brand new because of them in general. Luckily, with things she's taught him and things she's even taught me on how to respond to situations, he's exhibiting this behavior. Well, how about approaching it this way? No one had taken the time to do that like that. And I needed that. I've watched him figure out how to go to a park and present himself as he wants to present himself. He's out there trying to make new friends, because that's one of my biggest with him. I was worried if he's ever gonna have friends. He's got his brother and sister, but I want him to have friends. I see a bright future because of Peace Place. That kid's gonna do great things one day. I know he's gonna shock the world at some point in a very positive way.
Started out my service in 1987. I was involved in 3 conflicts and 2 police actions. I was in Desert Storm, Panama, and Somalia. Was discharged for post-traumatic stress at about 10 years in. It was on my birthday. We were in Somalia and we got a mortar, and I saw a guy get the back of his head blown off. His name was Master Sergeant Ramirez. It's like I didn't even know the guy. I felt responsible for that, and I still do. I just knew I was like the guy was a threat, but I couldn't, it was like, what can I tell the security response team? I couldn't think of anything to say, and I let him walk off. And that's exactly where the mortar hit. And killed one and wounded 11 others, including a 2-star general. It really had an effect on my life. I just spent a lot of years where I had a lot of problems. I didn't say anything to anybody, and it just ate me alive. Like when I got home, I told my parents that I never wanted to celebrate my birthday again, ever. And they made me do it. Then my parents were the get back to the saddle type, and so every year they'd bake me the cake and they'd make, and I just wanted to die. When I came here, I had no hope, but it took a lot of counseling, and a lot of those counselors have been available here at the Grace Home. And plus, the other guys around here, they've experienced the same thing I have. So I don't feel like a freak. I don't feel alone. There is a camaraderie. There is something here that has helped me move on. We have housing assistance. We have if you wanted to get an apartment, they can help pay you your rent. We got so much behind us that there's no way you can come out of here and not be a success. We veterans, we take things inside. I guess this place brings us out. We had some grade school kids came by from Malmstrom Air Force Base, and I tell you what, I had the time of my life down there with those kids. It was great. One of them had a tooth out just like mine. so we got to take a selfie with them, both of our teeth out and everything. We just had a blast. What's next for me is hopefully a good paying job. At least I hope. I hope get on track, get on my feet, so I can at least be proud of myself again.
We are United Way of Cascade County, and each year we help more than 25,000 neighbors, friends, and co-workers in our community.
Friends given a fighting chance.
Co-workers given the building blocks to a better life.
Neighbors given hope when they needed it most.
Elijah and Shirley.
Anna and Dane.
Antonio, whose dream of joining the military is possible because he earned his high school diploma.
Ethan, who is given care and comfort.
These are the faces of change. You can be one too.
Life is tough, but so are we. No one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone. To live better, we must live united.